If you're wanting to get into a new home in Austin in 2025, I am going to give you 3 huge mistakes that you definitely need to avoid. Now, a week or so ago, I posted 5 mistakes you should avoid if you're trying to buy a home in Austin in 2025. I added 3 more to the list. So this is a part 2 follow-up from that first video. And these are all based on real life stories from some of our clients that did not end up buying a home last year. I want to make sure that you don't make these mistakes. My name is Shannon Mangan. I run a real estate team in Austin, and I've sold over 230 homes. So as I mentioned, these mistakes that I'm about to list are coming from real life experiences. So the first thing you've got to be aware of in 2025 is waiting for interest rates to drop. This is something all of us wish for. We hate having rates up in the 7s or the upper 6s. It's just definitely making it more unaffordable to purchase a home here in Austin. But you can't control interest rates. We wish we knew when they were going to drop, but we just have no way of telling. What we do know right now is that the Fed has said they're going to be more conservative in 2025. Initially, they said they might cut rates 4 times. Then they said probably just 2 times. They may or may not cut them at all. So we really don't know. Something to also keep in mind is that the federal fund rate is not the same thing as mortgage rates. So some people were really baffled when the Fed decided to cut rates 3 times in the fall of 2024, yet interest rates came down for a little bit and then they spiked up. So they moved in the opposite direction. So mortgage rates are influenced by other factors. They're influenced by job reports, economic updates, and so they don't always align with the federal fund rate. So again, you're trying to wait for something that we can't predict and we can't control. So our advice is work with the current market and find solutions to help you lower your monthly payment, because ultimately that's what a higher interest rate does, is it just makes it more unaffordable. You're having to pay a bit more each month when you finance a loan. So we have a lot of solutions that our clients have been doing to get lower rates. And in fact, all of the clients that we worked with last year, none of them paid a high 7% interest rate. The majority of our clients were able to get rates down at like 4.99 fixed. Some of them were able to do temporary rate buy downs starting at 4.99 and then going up to 5.99 or so on. So there's solutions where you can get a credit from a seller when you purchase a home. That credit could be used to pay some lender fees to buy down your rate. New construction builders have been giving out big incentives over the last year, and a lot of them will give you a lower fixed rate. We've even seen some as low as 3.99, which is crazy. And all you need to do is work with their preferred lender in order to take advantage of some of these incentives. But that's how most of our clients have been really scoring big and getting some incredible deals, because when rates are high, the good thing is that prices are a little bit lower. So since the Fed doubled the rates back in 2022, Austin prices came way down, more than 20% in most cases when you're looking at the median sold prices. This is a graph showing what happened to the prices in Travis County, which is all of Austin and the surrounding suburbs. So a good thing about buying in 2025 is that our prices have still stabilized. They haven't shot right back up. But if you wait for the interest rates to fall, let's just say they do go back down to a 5% rate at some point, the prices are definitely going to shoot back up. They move in the opposite direction of interest rates. So when rates are low, that means homes are more affordable, more people are going to buy them, there's more competition, and you start getting back into those multiple offer situations where prices start to rise. So really, we don't want to ever go back to those really low rates of 2.5%, 3%. That's what caused prices to just shoot through the roof. What's great right now is that prices have stabilized over the last couple of years. We are seeing some appreciation, but nothing outrageous. We're not seeing crazy multiple offers. So if you can find some easy solutions to get a house you like while the prices are low and then lower your rate to make it more affordable, that's a huge deal. There's other ways you can make your purchase more affordable by getting into a neighborhood with a lower tax rate. So there's all kinds of things we can help you to do if that is your fear of, I don't want a higher monthly payment. But just saying I'm gonna wait is really putting yourself in a bad position, because there's millions of other people out there thinking the same thing. And by the time rates do come down to whatever number you're hoping for, prices are going to shoot back up, which is going to lead you back to the same problem of the home is not as affordable as what you hoped. Now, the second big mistake that you want to watch out for is shopping for a perfect home. I can tell you that a perfect home does not exist at all. I just bought a brand new home about a year ago. I absolutely love it, but there's definitely things in here that I wish I could change. So we bought a Weston home recently that was about 3,800 square feet. So we upsized into a much bigger space, but despite having all that space, it lacked storage space. We have fairly small closets in some of the rooms. There's no downstairs coat closet, and there's also less cabinet space in the kitchen. So that wasn't enough of a deal breaker to make me not buy my home, because the main thing that we wanted was a home with a view, a bigger yard, being on a green belt, and we loved the location, the price was right. So we settled for this home, even though it didn't have the storage space that we wanted or the kitchen space that we wanted. What I had to do was just compromise a little. I sold off a lot of my kitchen cookware that I hadn't used in years. We realized we have multiple sets of dishes, pots, pans, so it kind of forced me to purge a little bit. And then we also invested in some upgraded closets from Closets by Design, and that helped us make better use of our closets for our clothing and everything. So eventually we were able to downsize some items we don't use, but then find organized spaces to put everything else. So you've got to be realistic and expect that there's gonna be some things that you wish you could change in your next home. It's not going to be perfect, but think of, are these deal breakers or not? So something we try to work with our clients on is coming up with a must-have list, like I must be located, this many minutes from work, or I must have 4 bedrooms, we must have a fenced-in yard. Come up with your list of must-have items that are deal breakers. Then have a list of some nice-to-have items. Maybe a fireplace would be nice. But if it didn't have a fireplace, could you live without it? Could you maybe put in an electric fireplace and just add a little bump out to a wall? It doesn't require a chimney, but it gives you the ambiance of having a fireplace, and it has kind of a modern look and feel. There's so many different solutions you can have that can help you tweak something in a home to make it what you want, but never can you find a perfect home. So some clients that missed out are ones that had crazy long list of all kinds of details that it's impossible to find that. Or even worse, sometimes it is a couple where the 2 spouses disagree. So something that's a deal breaker for one of them is a must-have for the other. And we can't help you until you can compromise and come up with a list that works for your family. We will do our best to help you find ones that are really close to what you want, but you've got to be realistic and understand that perfectionism in a home just is not something realistic. Even if you designed a home and you put all your plans there and you think it's what you want, by the time you live in it a few years, you're gonna realize, you know what, I probably should have changed this, or next time I would fix this. So get over the perfection list, get over the really crazy long list, and let's just focus on realistic, what can we get you that hits all of your major needs. Now, finally, the third thing is not consulting with a real estate agent in advance. Sometimes we have clients that think there's a reason that they cannot buy a home. For example, the interest rates. Well, I can't buy a home right now because I checked my mortgage rate online and I put in what this would cost me, and there's no way I could afford that. But then when we talk to them, we tell them, here's all the different ways you can get a lower rate. And suddenly it's like, oh, I could afford a house if I just get a newer home a little further out in the suburbs with a 4.99 rate or something lower. Now all of a sudden you can be a homeowner. You know, there could be things where maybe you think, well, I'm stuck in a lease until August and I would want to buy a house now if I could, but I'm going to have to stay in my lease till August. Well, we've helped other clients realize that, you know, talk to your landlord, figure out what the lease termination fees are. Sometimes it's, you know, 2 months notice plus an additional month penalty. So 3 months of rent. It varies. I'm not telling you this is the case for all rentals, but that's something we commonly see. Well, then we help them understand that if we find you a home that you absolutely love right now and you go under contract, it's going to take about 1 month to close on that home. And then it takes 2 months for your mortgage payment to actually kick in. So let's say you close on a home in February of 2025. Your mortgage payment doesn't start until it skips March, but it will start in April. And so you won't have to make a monthly payment until the beginning of April. So that can help you if you have, you know, a 3-month lease penalty. You could put in a termination once you've already gone under contract. It's going to take a month to close. It's going to take, you know, those additional couple of months before your mortgage payments actually start kicking in. And that can definitely help you offset where you're not paying a rental payment plus a mortgage payment. We've helped other clients in some cases just to get a credit from the seller of maybe, you know, $10,000 or something where they were not able to get their rental, you know, terminated in time, but having a credit from the seller was enough that they were able to get out of the lease, pay the fees, and move forward with a home that they loved. So our job as a real estate agent, we're not here to pressure you in any way to buy a home. We're just trying to solve and understand what your problems are, give you some different options, try this solution, try that solution, and just see if we can come up with a way to help you meet your goals. So if you would like to consult with us, just click the link in my caption below. That's the easiest way to book a quick consultation call with me. And also check out my previous video in case you missed it on the other big mistakes you should avoid if you're buying in Austin in 2025.